Ciara and Christine to talk to. So let me make this very quick in intro because I'm so excited to talk to these two and we don't have that much time. Nothing makes me happier. I am the editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine. Absolutely nothing makes me happier than talking to people who are at the top of their industries, the top of their game, but who at the same time have so much wisdom to share with everybody, have learned so much and are able to translate it into really tangible, insightful, actionable insights. And that is what we have here. We had an amazing prep call and before this session, and I told both Ciara and Christine that because it was so exciting. We have a legend in the music and entertainment space and a legend in the brand building space who have teamed up together to build the house of RL&C. Now, what does RL&C stand for? I am not going to tell you. I'm going to let Ciara tell you because it is an insight all its own. In this conversation, we're going to be talking about brand building, building a sustainable business in every way, the power of storytelling, and more. And I don't want to talk any more than this. Ciara, I want to turn it to you to set us up with this story, starting at the ground level where this came from, but also what RL&C stands for, because I think that in how you did that, you also have an important lesson about establishing the vision for a company.
Hello, hi Jason and everyone tuned in. Yes, it's super exciting. You know, Jason, I have to tell you, you got the letters right, but it's actually the House of LR&C.
Oh no, I messed it up. That's
It's
terrible.
all right.
I messed up
It's
the
all
mic test
right.
and I messed up the name.
It's all good. The letters were right. And those letters stand for love, respect, and care. And it's also kind of the way that myself and Russell kind of sign off by saying love, Russell, and Ciara. So there's a double entendre to the name. But most importantly, we wanted to build a fashion house that was built on the key fundamentals of love, respect, and care. And that's in everything that we do with the team that we build, the love and respect and care that we put into the products, just the whole process. And so every step and every stage of what we've been doing with building out our fashion house at the House of LR&C has been, it's been every detail matters for us. And I also, as you see here, we have Christine Day, who's, I have to say, you know, she's a good family friend of ours. And even at the foundation of how we've been building this house, we couldn't have done it without her. We like to call her a retail legend, but we wanted to make sure that we also surround ourselves with an incredible team that knows what they're doing in the fashion space. And Christine was the perfect team player to help us come and lead the way and build out this fashion house. And we have our 3 brands, starting with Good Man brand that actually Russell started a good, I don't know, about 4.5 years ago now, and it's moving really good and off to, I mean, I want to say a great start, but it started off really good and now we're really moving, which is exciting with Good Man brand. And then we have our brand that's the newest baby of the fashion house, Human Nation, and that's our inclusive brand and our influencer brand. And our ultimate goal is to really speak to the Gen Z audience and beyond. And there's a bit of that street influence in that fashion. And then we're also building out something really cool that I can't wait to share when that time comes. But ultimately, again, at the fashion house of LR&C, we wanted to build a house that's built on those key fundamentals of love, respect, and care. And I must add, one of the most important factors of our identity is we're also a house that's built on the foundation of sustainability. We didn't want to be the traditional fashion house. You know, everything really mattered for us. And we want to make sure we're giving good love, respect, and care to the planet as well. So we're able to do that through all that we're building at the fashion house of LR&C. And I'm going to toss it to Christine as well, because I'm sure she want to put a few great things out there. But it's exciting what we're building. And it's been really amazing to see people react to the whole experience that we're creating. And, you know, we really want to involve the community and what we're doing. Community is everything to us. And we also have a component that was really crucial, is that while we are a fashion house, we also want to impact at the same time. And so with that being said, we give away 3% of every bit that we make goes back into our Why Not You Foundation. And we're able to donate to, you know, really important foundations that also build up the youth and beyond. So it's just been amazing, you know, doing this. And again, we're not your traditional fashion house, which has been really exciting. And it's also been a great challenge, but one that we're really enjoying together. So yeah, it's exciting. And I'm really excited to be here today. So yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you. And again, what a rookie mistake to swap the letters. Christine, let me turn to you and continue to build the beginning of this brand story. You had told me yesterday when we were prepping for this that every team has to manage the risks that it's going to take. And you are certainly taking a risk here in that you built this house and it has 3 brands underneath. That's a lot to manage all at once. Take me into that, how you guys were thinking about that, and how you're thinking about communicating each of these three brands while also having them all live under the same mission of love, respect, and care.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we've taken on a lot. I think anybody would tell you that. I mean, the good news is we have a team of really deep experts who've built billion-dollar brands, but always in that purpose-led, value-led brands that have impact and really high engagement with communities, but also care in everything they do. So I think it helps having that team of experts. You know, we understand how to build not only brand and product that resonates with consumers, but also business models, because I think you have to be beyond purpose in this space. But definitely how we see it, you know, we could have had one brand, the House of LRNC, but we'd already started with Good Man Brand. What's important in any brand strategy is actually having a brand that resonates with consumers and speaks to that targeted consumer group. But we also want to have large scale impact in terms of the way we do business, which is what we call conscious creation. So everything that we've done under the house meets what we call the values economic chain, where we look at everywhere from the factories, how we do business in the countries and the factories that we select, how they treat their employees, how we, you know, ship goods. We're working on bringing a lot of goods and manufacturing back to the US. To shorten that supply chain, lower our carbon footprint, and then how we build the company with core values around our own people, and then ultimately the impact that we have to the consumer through this conscious creation of product. You know, we're really pushing back against really what, you know, we think was a bad phase in the industry, which was fast fashion, where everybody's just creating really just junk. You know, there's no more merchant. There's, you know, we're doing mass production instead of small batch production. And so there's way too many garments made with way too many you know, things that that aren't sustainable in the environment. And so our whole goal of the house and all the brands we've created is to have brands that really resonate with the consumer, particularly on the journey of where they are from, like Human Nation, which is what we call our influencer impact brand, made with all organic cotton, recycled materials, highly targeted, you know, with only basically 4 materials that we work with there. We can leverage a lot in terms of sustainability. And then bringing sustainability to our future brand, which is yet to be announced, and Good Man Brand, which are really follow what we call our goods mandate, where we make everything with the most sustainable product that we can. So while we do have 3 brands, and that's challenging, and 2 channels right now, wholesale and our DTC, the reality is when you create brands that resonate with consumers, then and that are purpose-led, the journey is a lot easier.
Ciara, I want to go back to you and build off of what Christine just said about being purpose-led and communicating that with an audience, because of course, you have a kind of dual challenge here with this company in that you are communicating the brand and the value and the quality of the products that you're making and the lifestyle that it embodies. But at the same time, you're also telling a story of sustainability. You're telling a story of the fashion industry and how you are striving to make it better and are building those values into the own brand. Now, you are a storyteller by nature and by career. How have you been thinking about how to tell that story and how to communicate what this brand is in a wide way?
Well, I think the cool thing is that there's many different ways. And the beautiful thing about fashion is that there's a massive world of creativity and opportunity to create. And so obviously with just the materials itself, you know, the fashion, because it's just that great, it does allow itself to speak for itself. And then there's these cool opportunities, like, you know, where just say, for example, when you go to our Instagram or, you know, our different pages, like we're able to really break it down in a really cool, I'd say in great creative detail, where there's, you know, just many different ways for you to see the layers of who we are. And then obviously, as you mentioned, the storytelling component is really important. And because there are all these cool layers that, you know, we always make sure we roll it out in the most organic way. And I guess more than anything, it's almost like just wearing the fashion itself and seeing how great it is and how the materials feel, it says a lot there. And then the great thing is that it's not about overthinking it. You know, when you purchase something in that same moment, that structure and system is already there to whereas that 3% of those proceeds are going to go where they're supposed to go. So you don't have to overthink the process when you're buying something from from the house of LR&C. It is great for people to know up front that when they do, though, they are part of something that is, I'd like to call, greater than fashion. And, you know, I say our passion for fashion, our passion for fashion is just as great as our passion to impact and vice versa. Like we're really, truly driven by that. And that's exciting, you know, because I think nowadays you have to have something more than just, you know, great material, great pieces of fashion. Like there has to be something more to it. And especially in this world, it's a crowded market, you know, just to be honest. So, you know, the devil is in the detail, you know, and beyond that, how much better it would feel. Like Russell and I, we always talk about legacy. Legacy is so important to us. You know, we hope to build a company that's going to, you know, be able to give back to our children's children, you know, and then ultimately we're going to be able to give back to many other children and beyond around the world. And that's what it's about, you know, and it's been super exciting, you know, building out everything. I have to say it's a dream come true. You know, when I was really young, I always loved fashion, playing in my grandmother's closet and, you know, just having a good time with that. And obviously being an entertainer, that's a big part of how I expressed myself. But I just felt like, and I speak for Russell as well, we can't just do this traditional thing. Like it can't just be about, you know, it can't only be about being cute and fly. Like there has to be something more and something greater. And the cool thing is that nowadays with technology in the world that we're living in, and, you know, there's just so much opportunity to tell the story and so many ways to tell it. And we're always challenging ourselves on a creative level with finding that best way to tell that story and make sure those facts are clear, because it does make a detail. The fact that we have the anti-stink and the technology and the anti-stain technology allows you to have to wash your materials less. Again, it goes back to love, respect, and care on the planet. And so we always are thinking through every step and every fold of how we're going to express through fashion and how we're going to communicate that to the consumer. So yeah.
Ciara, a follow-up question that also I'd love to hear Christine weigh in on the brand building side, because I think this is a communications and a brand building question, and something that people who are building purpose-driven companies wrestle with a lot, is how to balance the purpose and the value proposition of the product. Because of course, like you said, it's a crowded marketplace. You have to differentiate. And I think that having a purpose and a mission and being so clear about that love, respect, and care is something that people really connect with. But people who have built purpose-driven products or companies will, of course, say that if it's just the purpose, if you lead just with the purpose, bad things can happen, right? Consumers can feel lectured to. It can feel more like a chore than a consumer choice. And so you almost want to blend it in this perfect way in which people feel really good about the choice that they're making, but they also feel really good about the product. And you certainly are striking that balance, but I'm wondering from a communication standpoint, how you're finding that. How do you tell that story, and where do you lean more towards? Is it more towards the quality? Is it more towards the mission? How do you blend it?
Well, Christine, I'm going to toss it over to you on this one, but I will say, you know, again, I think it's all the proof is in the performance of the product first. And that's a great question, you know, as far as the balance of the two. And so from a fashion perspective, I think my kids are trying to knock at the door right now. But from
I got a dog barking behind me. It's fine.
Are we also used to it now? But from a fashion perspective, you know, again, I think fashion speaks for itself, you know, just to be honest. And, you know, our passion, again, the same level of passion we have to impact, we have just the same amount of passion to create great fashion. I like to rhyme there. But it's true. It's, you know, it's important that, of course, yes, the do good component is a big part of our DNA, and the sustainability piece is really important to us. But of course, we want to make sure like you're walking around and you're feeling fly. And the cool thing with our house at LR&C is that the ultimate goal is to become a one-stop shop. And if you look at the brands and what you'll see as we continue to roll out things, you'll be able to have flexibility. You'll be able to have something for the daytime, the middle of the day, and the nighttime. You'll be able to, you know, be cute and casual. You'll also be able to get sexy and, you know, and level it up another notch, you know, by the end of your day if you need to. But again, I really believe, you know, it's the devil is in the detail of the fashion and how we, we give just the same passion we have to impact. We have the same passion in our designs, and that same love, respect, and care goes into how we're creating everything. And we want to make statements through fashion, and so that's very important to have that balance, to what you're saying. So I'm going to toss it to you, Christine, though, on that as well, as I'm sure you have some great things to say too.
Thanks, Ciara. I think, Jason, to your question here, what's really important is that the product is what the consumer wants to wear, because that's ultimately what fashion is all about. So you have to win. And I think the white space in the marketplace that we're really pursuing is really bringing sustainability to everyday fashion at affordable price points. You've got some people in the marketplace today, which are very, like Stella McCartney would be a great example, Gabriella Hearst, but they're very expensive beyond the average pocketbook of the consumer. So what we're really doing is taking all the expertise we have in fabric, technology, innovation, instead of having the martyrs uniform, and I won't call out the brands, but basic sustainability fashion is very just everyday casual, similar to what we're really doing in Human Nation. So we're really taking our expertise and applying it to that fashion affordable, competing with brands like Vince and Theory, where you actually can meet sustainability standards through what we call the goods mandate, where we've actually taken every manufacturing technology, fabric, because most of the damage to the environment is done, frankly, at the fabric creation point. So how do we take what we know in innovative technology and new manufacturing partners and create accessible fashion? But it's got to win in the fashion side as well. And that's what we've really done. And what we're doing is making sustainability the effortless choice for the consumer across the brands. So it's the style you want to wear, and how you want to dress first and foremost with a brand that means something to you from purpose and passion. But then we use our expertise to make the technology and the fabric choices and the price points accessible for you, so you don't have to worry about it when you buy something from the House of LRNC.
I think that word effortless is a really powerful one, because it speaks to the value that you're able to bring to the consumer and the way that you're able to ease them right in, right? They want to do well, but not everybody has the resources to do it. And so here they are, they're able to come to you. They're attracted by the great fashion. They're attracted by the great storytelling, and it's easy. But of course, doing that, accomplishing that, making it easy is hard, right? Which is why you speak about the values economic chain, which is that actually doing this is not easy. And I'm curious, Christine, you have decades of experience in retail and in brand building, how you are doing that and what entrepreneurs might be missing when they think about how to do something right? How to follow their values and how to have the best impact on the world possible, but also how to do it in a way that's going to be sustainable and produce a product at a price point that people are actually going to want to buy.
Yeah, I think you have to look at everything from your go-to-market channel strategies to how you build your team to go after this, right? So on both those fronts, what we've done right from the beginning is, yes, we launched our own DTC, but we also chose to partner with companies like Kohl's and Nordstrom so that we could build the line, we could hit our minimum, orders with the manufacturing partner. We could convert our cash quickly, even though wholesale is a lower margin than you typically see at DTC. But then, we also were then able to test pricing. We were able to test consumer response to the products, see what the heroes were. So then we can lean in once we create those hero products in our architecture, using key fabrics across all the brands that we know meet our sustainability guidelines, and share those, so that's one of the strategies that we do. So, the other thing is that because we are experts and we've been in the industry for a long time, we have a lot of relationship and partnerships. We know who does the best small batch of this, and the minimums are over here, and how to leverage fabrics and technology and the way we create architecture. For instance, we created the whole Human Nation line that you see with about 600 design hours. That's not even one person full time, because we had the experts doing it. The other thing is when we build our team, the way that we constructed the team from the beginning is a core group of experts, a group of consultants on the outside that we use part-time, and then junior staff that meets our that we're developing and up and coming, that's diverse, that's kind of leading cutting edge. But we created our infrastructure in a way that we can roll people off, still give them vested stock, but moved from maybe infrastructure build to now content creation, which is more important at this stage. So everything you do in terms of how you build a business model matters, because a lot of small companies start out with either too junior people or maybe too much overhead. They keep adding, but they don't have that ability to cut. So it's all those things I think that we bring to the table as a team of experts, that we know how to build that business model. We know how to get to the gross margin targets we want to in the future.
Ciara, I have heard entrepreneurs say this both ways, that you can learn a lot from art that you can bring to business, and that you can learn a lot of business that you can bring to art. And this is not the first business that you've built or been a part of, but of course this is its own unique experience. And I'm curious what you feel like you are able to bring, and I don't mean this as a kind of personal thing, but really more as a lesson that people can take as people are creators in their own rights, and then maybe trying to transfer their knowledge and their skills in one area to another. What's been your experience, and what have you learned that you think other people can learn from about how to move from one arena to another?
Yeah, well, I think, especially coming from a super creative world, being an entertainer, and then jumping onto the entrepreneurial side of even my role in that space. And obviously here, you have to, I think what's really important is to educate yourself. And you got to educate yourself as much as you can. There's definitely a lot to digest. When Christine and I and Christine, the team, and everyone starts walking through all the back end of stuff, your eyes sometimes get bigger than your head. And, in that moment, you sometimes have to slow the world down and say, okay, now what exactly am I looking at here? Okay, I understand it a little bit. Now ask some questions. Like, you can't be afraid to ask questions either in the process. And I think it's just so important that you surround yourself with the best. And, we were really fortunate enough to have a power team, and Christine and the team that she's brought along. And so I say that to say, when you're able to learn more about the business side of it all, kind of put the creative part to the side, it empowers you in both areas, so then while you have one side of your brain that's functioning on the creative side, and then you're also aware of what you need to be on the technical side, on the number side, so you're able to kind of, for me, I feel like I've been getting better at finding that like happy medium and balance of like, okay, this is the creative vision I have, and it's this, and this, but I also know, okay, well, what is our goal here? Like, what numbers are we trying to hit? And then when you have an understanding of what those goals are, it also impacts how you think creatively. So the cool thing about, my role at the House of LRNC is I serve as Chief Creative Director. And in that case, I'm able to, really think through the strategy and be a part of the strategy process on how we're going to communicate what we're trying to through fashion, but also being mindful of the ways to be creative. So like, for example, there may be a really small budget, but I've learned through my platform that there's ways to manipulate things. There's ways to actually make $5,000 look like $5 million. And that is a blessing when you understand the power of technology and the power of building out platforms the right way. And so, I do feel like I've had a bit of an advantage by being able to experiment on my side with running my own record label and having to literally do things independently. It's kind of empowered me for being in this position and being able to work alongside incredible people like Christine and Therese, who helps us stay on top of our sustainability, that part of it. Like, just there's so many things I've been taking in, and I've been like a sponge in this process. And I think I want to encourage, people like myself that may have started out more on the creative side, that are rolling into the entrepreneurial side, to be a sponge, ask questions, no question is a dumb question. I've learned that, throughout life in general. There's no questions too big or too small. Like, ask them, like, and learn as much as you can, because I really do believe it empowers you to make the best decisions across the board. So, those are some of the thoughts that come to my mind. And I have to tell you, I've been having so much fun, being able to be creative, but also being able to get better on the business side. Like, it's been really fun for me. And Christine will tell you, we talk a lot, especially, as the business continues to grow. We have a lot of conversations, and it feels good to know that some of the questions that I may have had at the beginning are answered, and that I have more questions to ask, and that I'm continuing to grow. And, we're able to become stronger in our partnership by me knowing more as well. So it's really fun. It's a great challenge, but I encourage anyone that's like myself to, go head first to that challenge, like, run towards it, and like I say, no questions too big or too small. Ask all the questions you possibly can and educate yourself. Knowledge is really power when you're trying to build out companies the way that we are.
Yeah, I think especially something that you said a little earlier, I think is so powerful that I really just want to emphasize it for folks, which is that you can bring the creative side of you, and then bringing in the business side does not limit the creative side. In fact, it can actually
Absolutely.
create more freedom. And I've heard this from so many entrepreneurs who created a company and they wanted to be scrappy and they didn't want structure, and they didn't want to be limited. And what they ultimately discovered was actually building some structure gave them more freedom, which is really interesting.
Absolutely.
And Jason, I would add to that is learning to manage the risks, not just the opportunities and the vision, right? And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs I see go around or, go wrong, is that, part of your job isn't just to pursue your passion and your purpose and the mission, but especially once you do take what I call OPM, other people's money, is that you have a different obligation here too, and it's to create that return on that investment. And so I think that's where really I'm impressed with, my partners here with both Russell and Ciara, like the business mind that they're bringing to this, and not only their strengths. And I want to give a big shout out to Ciara here. Her visual eye on fashion, video, photo shoots, and how she contributes to us raise our game beyond what we could afford on a startup salary here. So, and the amplification we get from, what they bring. So really bringing your assets, that creative eye, and then the willingness to surround yourself and accept the talents of others is huge in terms of how we work and partner together, and the respect we give each other in the spaces that we bring. That collaboration is so important.
So we only have a few minutes, and I would love for both of you to just share one additional insight on this subject that you both just came to, which is the importance of building a great team, collaborating, and growing together, which I think is so important because, of course, as a business changes, the nature of the collaboration must change too. And I'm curious for both of you, maybe Christine will go first, what piece of advice you have to offer people who are in that journey now, or we're working with others, they're bringing together people with different skill sets and they're growing, but of course, as they grow, they're going to have to grow too.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is having the right people at the right time in a small startup, right? Because you've only got so much cash till the business grows to a certain point, and you're trying to manage your bottom line and a return. So how you invest in and develop junior talent, how you leverage the talent of your senior executives and people who are true hands-on builders is so critical at this stage of the company, and leveraging everybody's expertise. I really believe in teaching everybody to be a general business manager in addition to whatever your specialization is. And so open dialogue about the company, the decisions that we're making, the performance, what the goals are, is also really critical, not only in our partnership, but in creating a team that's really unified to be hitting the same goals, and understanding that at different phases you need different things. We went through the early days, we had a team that was heavily built on infrastructure. We're now, rotating some of those people off and bringing in a team that's really, and resources that are much more the content branding, so that we really get out there and build the awareness. And that's, we've had to shift. And that means sometimes shedding people, which is tough to do for a lot of startups.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I think what I hear in all of this and what I think about is just simply, you got to be able to be nimble. As we all know that this economy, it can go on a roller coaster. And obviously, even in the case of experiencing COVID, we were in the thick of like the pandemic, as we were like so excited about what we were building with the House of RNC. And it was like, wait a minute, we had to step back and pause and reevaluate things. And we were, we said, maybe this is the time, there's a time that we should stay focused on our mission. The time is now. And especially knowing that, we wanted to focus on the love, respect, and care of it all. And I think that I'll kind of round it out with that. I think that in order to grow, we always talk about communication rules a nation, and you got it in our case, and I want to encourage everyone to do this, that you can build things with love, respect, and care. It's going to be great. The only way it's going to be up. And I think that we have to, do that within our teams, also do that outwardly, just giving love, respect, and care to someone else can be incredibly valuable. And at our house, at the Fashion House of LRNC, that's what we're going to continue to stand on that. And I think that the more that we can keep pouring love, respect, and care into the process, into each other, the only way is up. And, we all will grow together. And so it's just exciting. I know the time is closing out, and someone else is going to pop on here with the next meeting. I'm not sure if Jason, they're going to pop in like you popped in.
Here she is.
I'm here. Wait, to be able to be on the screen with you guys. I'm smiling and listening. I didn't want to have to come and do this because it's so good to end it. I mean, respect, love, and care. I just am smiling because it's something that we talk about all the time. Yes, but I am here if you want to wrap up and we'll transition.
Yes, Michelle. Yes. But I have to say, just really, again, being able, in our case, we're going to stay focused on that, and we're going to pour that into every part of the process, the team that we're building, the materials that we're creating, and continuing to be nimble, there's no I in team. It takes each one of us to work hard together. And like I say, it's been really fun. And, they say you never work a day in your life when you're enjoying the process. And we've been enjoying the process, even in the midst of the challenges when they come our way, because we know it's not going to be that easy, to build out something the way that we envision it. But we feel like we're on the right track, and it's exciting to feel the love from everyone else that's been a part of the mission with us. So this has been fun, though. I know we got to go, so I could keep on talking here, but it's been really fun, and I hope someone got something out of what we were talking about today, and we hope to do the same in return from others that have come on after us. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. The energy and beauty of your soul is kind of emanating through the screen, and it's amazing. So, and so much of this actually parlays really well into the next session. Ciara, Christine, Jason, really, thank you. It means the world to have you here, and we're excited to continue the conversation and bring you into other parts of this community. So please stay in touch.